What's up, Cowboys Nation? Hey, how you guys doing tonight? Welcome to Craven Cowboys. As you know, it's your girl Mickey. Thank you guys for joining me on this late Saturday night. I know it's about to go into the 3-day weekend. We gotta just come through right quick, just give our record prediction for the 2023 Dallas Cowboys season. Just gonna go ahead and jump right in, and as people come in the chat, we're gonna go ahead and welcome you in. Like I said, thanks for spending your time here. Go ahead and jump right in. As we know, week one, we have our New York football Giants coming up. Of course, we know they're starting wide receivers, Isaiah Hodgins, Jalen Hyatt, they just drafted. Who will be behind them? Darius Slayton, Paris Campbell. Of course, they got Darren Waller, from the Raiders. That's quite an interesting pick they got in the offseason, but I think he'll just be an interesting ad. Of course, we know we're going up against, I think, J. Ron Curse. I think, of course, we'll be able to handle, he's known as the tight end eraser. And I just think, it's just going to the season, I think the Cowboys are just really going to show out. Getting a few things still set up for you guys in a second. What's good, Thomas Beard? How you doing? Thanks for joining me on this late night. Good to see you, fam. What's up? Just about to, just give my record prediction for the year real quick for 2023. I think we're going to have a great year coming up. Our boys looking good. As you know, had a great camp, had a great preseason. We've seen a lot of our rookies, just about all of our rookies make the team. It's good to see that, it's great to see, just how well our coaching has really done, already, just coming up for our season. Coming up this year, we're going to see a lot of teams who are just going to have, very strong run game. We're going to see a lot of decent, wide receivers, 1, 2, and 3. Of course, we have the depth at our DBs, and it's going to be good to see just a change of pace for our boys. Of course, we know last year we pretty much had, a defensive back competition, late in the season. It was kind of hard for our boys to get on their feet. So it's good to see that we have just some stability in the backfield. James Simmons, what's up? Welcome to the chat, fam. What's up? Good to see you, fam. Eastside Hero in the building. He said, I really enjoyed seeing TCU lose. Just another scumbag team in the DFW area. Hey, I thought you were from Houston. I thought you had love for, any city out there in Texas, but if you feel that way, fam, that's like to see a team lose. That's crazy, man. But, they did, fight the hard fight, but, hey, but one team got to win and one team got to lose, Yeah, like I was saying, of course, week one, we're going against the Giants. Of course, it's a division rival. The Warriors always show up for the division. You definitely can't sleep on them, especially coming out week one. We know just how tough, especially D-Law comes out against the Giants. He loves to get his sacks. What I'm saying? Of course, we're going to see a strong run game, especially early out in the season. So Saquon Barkley, being backed up by Matt Breida. Pretty much a 1-2 punch. They like to come with, they like to lean heavy on Saquon Barkley. So, I think our boys will be ready for that. Of course, that's the reason, why we drafted our number one pick, Mozzie. But, they're not going to, just throw him out there in the trenches. Plus we got, big boy Hankins in the middle. We got Osa stepping up this season, coming into the fourth year. I think he's going to have a crazy, not a breakout year, but just another productive, progressive year. We just see him kind of get better year by year, and just showing more of his traits on the field, and how he's just getting more and more comfortable in the box. Taking on these offensive linemen and just pushing them back and constantly putting pressure on the quarterback. And I think speaking of just kind of doing a quick look at the Giants roster. It looks like they drafted a rookie at center. I don't know if he's going to, start right out the gate, but that could be, weeks probably to kind of attack, just, kind of pushing it back, putting constant pressure on Daniel Jones. And he's kind of improved a little bit on his run game last year. We may see a little bit of improvement on this, this year, just kind of seeing how they kind of integrate that in their run game. Hey, shout out to Dak Owens. Filthy, what's up? Welcome, man. How you doing? Good to see you. Hey, thanks for your time tonight, man. Good to see you. Yeah, we just give my quick recommendation for the year. And of course, we know on defense they have Kayvon Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams. Of course, they have some names over there, and of course, secondary as well. I believe they have. I don't know if they actually. I think Bradbury went to the Eagles, but off the top of my head right now, it's just some light research I did. Just look at these games we have going down the line. Just want to know off these players from what I've seen, in previous years, and of course us, I'm sure as all Dallas fans know, we swept them last year. So, coming around the gate, just us going up against a division rival, it'll be good to see how strong our boys come out. And of course, before we get too much into it, of course, my prediction is based, strictly off, barring any major injuries, knock on wood. So I'm just, of course, we all hope for, for the most part, a healthy season, going in. Of course, we lost some guys along the way already. Hopefully, we won't lose too many more. Of course, week two. Actually, before we go on week two, I think we'll come out with the win. Week one, as you see, the green check marks will indicate a win. Like I said, I think we will come out with the win week one. Going into week two, we have the Jets, of course, a home game. Of course, once again we're going up against Aaron Rodgers, but even a different color green. Of course, coming into the season, different number as well, number 8. We saw him play a little bit in the preseason. I didn't get a chance to personally see myself how he did play, but we got a couple series in. I believe they got down the field. I caught a little bit on his first couple opening drives. Then he did get down the field at least once, for a touchdown. So, but that's of course it's all preseason. I'm not sure what starters he did go up against, but we know it's Aaron Rodgers. We know it's somewhat of a ghost, if you will, for Dak and his team. Constantly, just last year going up against Green Bay. So, I think these boys are going to come in, with that mentality, with that, just that thought, that L we took last year that we really didn't have to take. Saying we don't. Of course, we know we don't have Kellen anymore. We have Mike, Big Mike, and we're calling plays. So I think they're coming here smarter, playing harder, playing tougher. Saying it, and coming in with a much better game plan. Which for they're starting through our receivers. They have Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazard, Nicole Hardman, and actually looking at their roster, they have a Connor McGovern, but not the one that played with us. Actually a center that they have. Of course, Breece Hall, Dalvin Cook. Like I mentioned earlier, the 1-2 punch of the run game. They actually newly acquired Dalvin Cook, and we all know he came from the Vikings. And of course, about Breece Hall. The kind of I believe he was a rookie coming out last year. So just coming, I don't know just how, going to end up using those two running backs, but, I kind of look at Dalvin Cook as kind of like, just, kind of send me like a power back, how he just, kind of breaks down the defense a little bit. And, of course, every now and then he kind of have those breakout plays. So I think we're going to, kind of see, a little bit of the same thing, especially, week 2 coming out fresh. He had some, he had training camp with his team. So, we kind of, so, we're going to see how they come out, with the defense. I'm sure, just like we saw last year, Aaron Rodgers was telling his head coach to run the ball. So I'm sure they're going to come out with a similar game plan this year. And of course, we know they have Sauce Gardner, so we're going to see, I'm pretty sure, willing to bet we're probably going to see him against, see him on CeeDee Lamb. So it'll be good to see those boys, kind of get, kind of gritty, kind of get physical at the line of scrimmage. Just seeing that battle just kind of play out in the field. I think, it's going to be a home game. So I think, this being the first home game of the season, I think the fans going to show out the boys, they're going to have a good mentality coming in. Of course, going against Aaron Rodgers. But I think we're going to come up with a W. Of course, as we go along, if you guys, follow along in the chat, let me know what you guys think about, the teams we're going to go up against this each week. Let me know if you guys think we're going to win, lose, or just how you think it's going to go as well. All right, week 3 and 4, we have the Cardinals and Patriots. Personally, I just think these two franchises, aren't exactly at their best right now. But of course, everybody got to go out there and play. Cardinals are just kind of going through like kind of a dumpster fire right now. Really, they're just having a garage sale on some of their players. They traded away Isaiah, I believe, Isaiah Simmons to the Giants. They just picked up, and Kyler Murray's not even going to be there. They're saying for the year, possibly. So we're going to see some of kind of some of their staple players, James Conner, Zach Ertz, Marquise Brown. There's some of their I guess key playmakers that they may still have. James Conner is kind of going back and forth. With injury. Even just this past year, kind of been up and down. So be not sure. Of course, we know they lost their head coach. As well. Cliff Kingsbury, I believe their head coach. I think we just saw on TV. Their head coach is the guy from Philly. So it'd just be interesting to see what, if any, what kind of game plan they come out with. We're going to see Joshua Dobbs at quarterback. We did see him last year. When Tennessee got him late in the season. And of course, last year we didn't really have that much tape on him, but of course, we know he's kind of a mobile quarterback. He likes to run a little bit. The pocket kind of collapses on him. So we just kind of expect that. I guess we're going to I'm sure we're going to go into that week expecting that anyway with Kyler Murray. If he wasn't hurt or whatever kind of situation he's going through. He's a mobile quarterback as well. So so we can just kind of expect kind of the same game plan. Spin the Poppy, what's up? How you doing? Joey? Good to see you, fam. Yeah, glad for your time. Happy Saturday and happy long weekend as well. Yeah, make sure you guys hit that like, hit that share button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. And also, anybody remembers Carlos Watkins, who was here last year before we lost him to the free agency market. He actually went over to the Cardinals. So we're going to see him kind of lined up in the depth chart as well with the DTs. What I'm saying? So I guess it'd be good to see the boys go up against him. I think we'll, of course, with these two games, I think we'll definitely come out with the win. These two organizations at this particular point in time. Moving on to the Patriots, it's another home game. Week 4. We seem to play them a lot, kind of mid-season, week 4, week 5, not mid-season, but kind of early in the season. Kind of when both teams are kind of getting their, kind of getting their feet underneath them. Hey, what's going on, sis? How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you in the chat. It's been a while. Hope you're doing all right, sis. As you know, the Patriots, they have Devontae Parker. They picked up from Miami, actually. Someone in a division rival of his own. Kendrick Bourne, I believe, from San Francisco, and of course Judy, coming off a Super Bowl win last year. Congrats to him. Of course, they know they actually just drafted 2 cornerbacks. The Patriots, Christian Gonzalez from Oregon, and Amir Speed from Michigan State. So we're going to see them, I'm sure, on CD. Possibly, not sure if Amir Speed is going to be playing nickel, covering the slot. So I'm not sure if we're going to see him, maybe on Brandon Cooks, maybe not Brandon Cooks, or maybe even Turpin if he goes in the slot, even Colbert, if he gets the chance to see the field, early enough. I'm sure week 4 he's going to see some time. So we're going to see just see who these guys are going to cover. What's up, Trey? How you doing? Good to see you, fam. Niecy, what's up, sis? How you doing? Good to see everybody. Happy Saturday, everybody. Happy Saturday. Yeah, we just doing a record prediction for the 2023 season. Just chilling tonight, just chilling, y'all. Moving on to as far as defense for the Patriots, so as far as I know, just going off what I know from this team, the top of my head. As week to week, I'm gonna, of course, dive deeper into these teams of who we're gonna go up against. But I figured just for the record prediction, I just kind of go off, what I know off the top of my head. For some of these players, for these teams, I'm not familiar with. But yeah, they still have Matthew Judon, you know what I'm saying? So, and I still see him making noise. He's still standing out to this day, you know what I'm saying? Even, up to last season. So I'm sure we're going to still, see some disturbance with him. He's known to put pressure on the quarterback and come off that edge. And causing trouble for, sometimes for them tight ends who try to block. So we definitely got to make sure Schoonmaker or Hendershot, whoever comes out there, lining up, whoever plays that position right there, got to be prepared, to go against Drew because he's not going to back down. So, and of course, as we see in the offseason, we've seen Zeke, go over there. So they're going to have, once again, kind of a 1-2 punch in the run game. They're going to have Ramondre Stevenson. Of course, Zeke's going to be backing him up. And, it's just going to be so, just crazy, number one, to see Zeke in the Patriots uniform, to see him on the other side of that field. And it's a home game. So, it's going to be crazy to see Zeke back, at AT&T Stadium, without a star, but, with a different color blue on, you know what I'm saying? So it's going to be crazy to see, of course, these boys, dap each other up, say what's up, of course, have that love for each other, but also, lining up, seeing Zeke line up against that D line, not in training camp, not in practice, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. I can't wait to see how they handle, because they of course they know what it's like to hit them. I'm saying, in practice, and I'm sure every now and then, for real, when they really get down, in training camp, when they really, start to hit each other, but in actual game time, it's going to be wild. Trey says when needs Zeke to smack them Eagles up. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I saw they played. Yeah, so they play Eagles week one. It's going to be, yeah. I want to see, and we all know Zeke is known to run, on, quote unquote, from last year prior division rival. So I know he's going to have a special lineup for the Eagles. And we know they lost a couple of players. They do, they are still stacked on that D line. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing, nothing to, nothing to sleep on. You know what I'm saying? But it'll be interesting, of course, to see, just how well he runs against them. Yep. Of course, like I said, before we move on, of course, those two games I definitely see us coming out with a win. Like I said, those two, I don't see those two teams beating us at this point in time. And of course, really, all this is leading up to week 5. Like this is what I'm looking forward to, y'all. I don't know about y'all. I'm sure, a lot of fans, like me, looking forward to week 5. You know what I'm saying? And just, of course, just really, I'm sure for the Cowboys, like a revenge tour type game. You know what I'm saying? Really, and just that's how I really wish they would have put the Eagles week 1. But we'll see them more on down the line. But seeing these guys in week 5, it's kind of like the perfect setting game of playing. Get a few games out the way, kind of get our feet underneath each other, just kind of, and hopefully both teams are, for the most part, healthy going into this week, you know what I'm saying, and, be able to see just how these boys play up against each other. Yeah, I hope so too, Spun the Poppy. Yeah, I hope he, and really, I hope he shows out in every game that he plays for the Patriots, except, of course, for week 4. But really, I hope he shows out because of course we're all gonna be. I can speak for everybody, but I'm gonna be rooting for Zeke. He really gave us his all. For the time he's been here since 2016. So it's always love for Zeke. You know what I'm saying? And until he faces up against us, it's love for Zeke. Yeah, like I was saying, speaking of stacked teams, you know what I'm saying, we know the 49ers, are pretty much stacked at every position. They got Ayuk, of course, Debo, Jennings, they got most of the roster they had from last year. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we all know about the Trey Lance trade, you know what I'm saying? So, but, for the most part, they have most of the roster. Of course, Kittle line up against Kirsch. Hopefully we have a little better luck, some of them plays that Kittle was able to get off. And the last time we played them, especially that just that catch that kind of came out of nowhere, sometimes things happen. Sometimes things just happen for the other team. That's just how things go. So hopefully this time around, these boys can come in, with a good game plan. Come in, the heads focused in the game, and be able to just kind of cut down those mistakes. Kind of hone in on those details that they need to in order to perfect their game coming into this week. Yeah, very much so, Trey. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you, sis. Yeah, Yeah, I think everybody feels it this year that Micah is on a mission. It's like he's on a team mission. You know what I'm saying, for the Cowboys, but you can also see he has like a personal like mission. Like I don't want to say like vendetta, but like he's definitely like on like a personal mission. Like I mean, we saw that. I don't know if you guys saw that tweet he put out. I don't know if it was earlier today or yesterday, where he said, I'm going to be a Super Bowl champion. So we know this boy. We know this guy is focused. You know what I'm saying? Honed in on a goal. You know what I'm saying? And he wants to achieve that, and we all do. Yeah, he said have him take a slump before. Not a slump. No, not a slump. Just of course, keep him around 50 yards. We'll give him 50 yards. I can do that. I can deal with that. And yes, sis, yeah. Week 5 is ours. They better protect Purdy and whoever is backing them up. Who Darnold, he better be warming up all game because we are not playing. Of course, I just think really my main thought about this game is I think it's really just going to be like a real battle in the trenches. Like now that like I said, hopefully we'll remain mostly healthy. Knock on wood. And just the way our starting five is looking, of course, the way their D line is looking. Of course, we know they just got heartbreak from the Eagles. Of course, they still got Armstead. You know what I'm saying? I think the trenches is really going to be where the main battle is going to be. You know what I'm saying? Flashback just a couple of weeks ago where we saw the boys getting down in training camp, swinging on each other. I hope they keep the energy for this game right here, like the way Biotish kind of sideswipe Sam Williams. I hope he keeps that same energy because we gonna need that, especially in the trenches and in this middle. With just really their whole line. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they got Armstead, Hargrave. You know what I'm saying? I believe they have Trent Williams. Like they just got from Washington. I think he's as far as on the O line. You know what I'm saying, in that left tackle position. I think he's really gonna, as far as battles go, him going against Parsons on that side, or even if Sam Williams gets rotation in there, I think this is going to be. Like I said, I think this is going to be a real trench warfare type game. Of course, wide receivers. Of course, we have playmakers. They have playmakers. I think it's really going to come down to the O line and the B line, and really on both sides. Like when we get out there with our O line, and then when they get out there with their O line as well. Yeah, exactly, sis. Yep, 7-2. You see, Nisi says, you think we'll put in Trey for a series in this game? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's definitely really, really early out the gate to see, how early they're going to play Trey. I don't know. But it would definitely be interesting. I mean, 4 to 5 weeks or however many weeks it is from now is definitely enough time to at least maybe, a play or two, maybe at the goal line. And we saw him do some goal line packages over there when he was still with the 49ers. So maybe we need to put a play or two, maybe just so he can see the field, against his former team. But, I'm not going to say I wish they do it. I'm not going to say that they are going to do it or that they're not going to do it. It'll be cool to see, but I just don't know if they're going to do it just so soon. Because he's really, really raw coming in, and he's really just learning. I mean, we heard in Michael Parker's press conference that he's really just kind of doing like the classroom element right now. And, and of course, playing out in the field, he's not just solely in the classroom, but he's really just kind of taking it back, to basics. They were teaching him drills out there, in practice last week, or just past week. So it's just, I think he's just him being so fresh in the organization. I'm not sure if they're gonna really give him some plays this early out the gate, but it would definitely be good to see. Yeah, like Trey said, we have to be up. Like, we have to be like maybe even our second team up. You know what I'm saying? Not just Trey, but our backups coming in. You know what I'm saying? Hendershot coming in. You know what I'm saying? Rico coming in, possibly. You know what I mean? So. Maybe even Deuce coming in late, you know what I'm saying? So it would just have, like he said, it would have to be like maybe our second team coming in, or we just have a hell of a lead on these guys. But even then, like I said, I just think it's going to be like a battle in the trenches. So I don't even know if either side will even really get that much of a lead on each other. Yeah, and actually, speaking of Bosa, they said that they're trying to work out a deal with Bosa. So I'm sure by the time, we get to week 5, and I'm sure we're going to see him. He says they will stop Bosa as well. It amazes me that his team is finally on the same page, and no pages are going to be turned without them. L turning them as long as everyone is healthy. Yeah, that's why. Yep, I agree with you, sis. Yeah, if we have a mostly healthy season, and that's why our depth is so important because like I said, God forbid, if it were to happen, we do have guys willing to step up, and even like we see with Marquise Bell taking up those linebacker reps. We just have guys willing to step up. And we heard Michael Carter mention in the press conference, once again about personnel, flexibility, being able to do different things on different positions. It not only benefits the team, but also benefits the individual because they're learning different positions on the field, and how it affects their position that they're actually playing. If you're, playing safety, and but like Marquise Bell, if he's mainly playing safety, but he's also putting a reps at linebacker. I'm not saying he hasn't done it before, but just for someone, taking on a new role on the field, they'll be able to adjust, their role at linebacker because they know what it's like to play safety. So that if they know what safety is backing them up, a certain amount of yards behind them, they know where to be on the field as well. And Trey says, Lance will get playing time, I think, at the end of the year, especially if we don't need certain games. Yeah, week 16, 17, which I can see that too, Trey, like maybe like down the line, like even, of course, we know with the Washington game, that's, week 18, of course, we probably end up, sitting some starters there. We play, I think, the Lions week before that. I'm not sure if we're going to be, like I said, it all depends on how things line up, how our record looks, what we're playing for, that deep in the season. But now I can see that too, it's like some certain games, like if we, just depending on who we're playing, if we maybe hit like a division game. I know we had the Eagles kind of early December, but that's still kind of, I'm sure that's still like, playoff contention time where, things, are still pretty important. Splinter Poppy says, I'm really confident about this O-line. They still healthy. Yeah, I agree. Like this O-line, like especially with the fact that Terrence Steele was able to come back early and to still, to be looking stable. You know what I'm saying? And his footwork is looking good. His hands looking good. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we'll see. How he looks. Of course, on the field. Of course, we know he didn't play any preseason. So of course, and we really didn't see a lot of our starters in preseason. So it'd be. Of course, we know. Hopefully, don't come out rusty. Like we said, like these guys are playing against a top defense every day. Well, every day in practice when they are practicing. So, I think they're still getting those valuable reps. That's interesting, sis. She says that it might be Kyle's last season with the Niners. And yeah, I mean, if you guys saw that press conference, you could, in the midst of him trying to apologize, for what he thinks is a betray, you can kind of see like his face, like his demeanor a little bit, like he may be, he might have just put himself on a hot seat, like everything coming out about him not even, I don't know if it came out or maybe, I didn't know about it. I just found out, and I'm sure people knew about before I did. But I'm saying, like, with the information coming out that he didn't want Trey, initially, like, it just kind of makes him look bad, and that really just kind of, like you said, sis, just kind of threw him in the hot seat a little bit, and kind of put the pressure on him, like, okay, so, you got rid of the guy that you didn't want, you have Purdy, you chose Darnold over Trey, so let's see what he can do. So yeah, I think he kind of, maybe he didn't mean to, or that, that it doesn't look like that's what happened. Because the Niners not going anywhere far. Yeah, I mean, depending on what the division is, because their division, well, not the whole division, but I know Seahawks, they just drafted, Jackson Smith and Jigba, you know what I'm saying? Cardinals aren't looking too great, but who else in the division? 49ers, Seahawks, Cardinals. Can you guys help me out with the last team right now? I'm drawing the blank. But yeah, that division isn't necessarily stacked, but I think I can still see the 49ers just because of the way the NFC looks as a whole. I can still see them kind of, not getting, they can still see playoffs, most definitely. I'm saying, but they made us enough. I don't know about seeing the championship. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm just finish up this game real quick. And of course, we lost against them the last two seasons in the playoffs. So, hopefully we'll come with a different game plan. We just know these guys are going to come with a different mindset, not just game plan, mindset, coaching, personnel. I think we'll just see a complete 180 of what we've seen. Just in my opinion, I think we'll see a complete different team out there on the field. completely different, packages lined up, different personnel, like I said, and I think we'll just come out. Of course, I think we'll come out with a dub. Like you guys can see the check mark. Splendor says the Eagles and the Niners are going to slump this year, and I hope you're right for real. But like you said, we both know both teams that. Well, 49ers didn't necessarily they didn't lose major playmakers. They did lose people here and there, but they didn't lose like major playmakers like the Eagles. As I mentioned earlier, Hargrave came from the Eagles. So we know the Eagles did lose and they lost CJ Garner Johnson to the Lions, so they did lose some people. All right, and this pretty much the California theme going. Week 6 and 7. Week 7 is the bye week, but week 6 and 7, and then of course 8 we play the Rams. That's a home game. But of course, we're staying in Cali for week 6. Of course, we know next up Cowboys and Chargers. You know what I'm saying? They had to set it up, of course, for us to go up against Kellen Moore, going to his new team where he's going to be calling plays. So, of course, it's going to be Big Mike, really Dan Quinn versus Kellen Moore. His defense, really should be, I wouldn't say what they're used to, but, of course, Dan Quinn would go against Kellen Moore, in practice, training camp and things like that. And of course, as you guys probably already know, we heard a lot last year, before we actually had the playmakers in the building, where defense was constantly, of course, we didn't have players like wide receivers like that, but defense was constantly winning in practice, and I think that just kind of speaks to just Dan Quinn's philosophy and just how how he can kind of figure out Kellen's even just the details of his scheme and even his little intricacies in his play calling and kind of dominate him. So we're actually going to see it, for real on the field. How how they line up against each other and just what kind of if you will kind of chess game they'll play on the field. Of course, their playmakers or the wide receivers that can be lining up: Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnston, who they just drafted. Now, hopefully, this is going to be week 6. Like I said, hopefully the guys will still be fresh. We do know that, Michael Williams, Keenan Allen, their wide receivers kind of dealt with not a lot, but, have dealt with, some injuries, here and there. Michael Williams kind of coming back. I believe he had an injury, I think, mid-year last year or maybe late last year. I can't remember right now, top of my head, but I do know that he was out for some time dealing with something. So it'd be, we aligned against them. Of course, I don't know if Austin actually, I have a question mark here. I don't know if even Austin Eckler is going to be out there. Now I don't know if he's agreed to a deal or not with the Chargers. I know I recently heard about Josh Jacobs, agreeing to a deal. About Barkley to a deal. About Dalvin Cook, finally going to a team. I don't know if I really heard anything about Austin Eckler going to a team. So. If he has or has not reported, I don't know, to training camp or anything like that. I'm not really sure, but just assuming that he will be, lining up. We'll see him at running back. So this, as you guys can see, it's a constant theme with really almost every team, that we've gone against so far. They have, somewhat, a staple of a run game. So we're just have to be ready to plug that middle up. Of course, we retained Hankins. Of course, that's why we drafted Mozzie. I just think, and really, like I said, like I mentioned in my last video with Star, I'm really surprised that at least Big Bo didn't at least make the practice squad. Like me personally, I didn't see a lot for Big Bo, but I just thought his size would, maybe put him over, at least, kind of give him a leg up over another, with another player they could have, either put the practice squad and vice versa. So I'm really surprised Big Bo, and I actually learned and shout out to Tavis, he just let me know on Twitter tonight that he actually went to Detroit. So, shout out to him for him being able to get a job, that's what matters, So, we'll see him, later on down the season when we do face Detroit. But so yeah, it'll be, we definitely gonna have, a time, trying to plug the middle, with these run games we're gonna see. Joey says, Mithy, both these teams decline. While we incline. Yeah, you're right, Baka. Yeah, that's definitely true. Definitely true. I mean, you see the playmakers be able to get in the off season, and like I said, they lost players, so but like coaching matters, play calling matters. So we'll just see how. I mean, we don't see them until week 9, unfortunately, but it's and of course well, as far as the Eagles, we'll see Sam Moran week 5. So it was just like those things matter too. As I was mentioning, like I said, like the run game, like I said, so we'll be seeing with Austin Eckler, because we know he's twitchy out there. We really know that he's really been their main. And like I said, they were dealing with injuries, so when the wide receiver was out, they were having to lean heavily on Austin Eckler and him just being shifty, him catching passes at the backfield as well. So and he's very good at that. Like and he can also, take handoffs as well. So we definitely gotta. I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head who their backup running back is, as far as being a 1-2 punch. But I know that Eckler is very strong in their run game. This says I'm waiting for them Chargers, Dak versus Kellen Moore, big calling plays. Yeah, Big Mike's gonna let Dak run the team. Yeah, I agree with you. That's a great point. Yeah, I think that's why he's getting him ready. I mean, I'm not gonna say that that's solely he's letting Dak call plays, but I mean that could be just another emphasis on just him putting more trust in Dak. And, I mean that we all already know that Dak is a leader on his own. That he doesn't need an incentive to be a leader. But we saw how comfortable he was calling plays. So just him having even more motivation to go out there and lead his team and put his players, put his players in a great situation. Yeah, I'm sure that this shot really just shot his confidence through the roof. Of course, they have a Asante Samuel, and I think they say he's around, like I said, doing just some light research. They say he's known, he's known to be put on, number one receiver. So we just hope they see him on TV. That's a matchup I'm going to be looking forward to seeing. I mean, we know, CD does well, one-on-one matchup. And us having other playmakers is going to be great. Just to see how he can number one handle that, and of course, seeing Gilmore, I'm sorry, not Gilmore, Gilmore handle either one of these receivers, or seeing who's going to end up covering Brandon Cooks, going to be covering like deep threat. I'm saying even the slot receiver, if we throw Turpin in there, even throw Pollard in there catching passes at the backfield, I think we just have weapons all over. Let's see. This says, of course, talking about Dak can't read in defense. People don't know Dak's abilities. Yeah, I mean, he's calling plays out there. I mean, you have to be able to read a defense, to call plays, I would think. So I think, and really, I mean, honestly, I wish, that this could have been done sooner, so that Dak could have just, been just killed that narrative of not being able to read defenses. Because I would think there's no way that you can go out there and call plays against the defense if you can't read it. You know what I'm saying? So, that I'm sure that would just kill that narrative long ago. Of course, on the defensive side, they still have Khalil Mack, Eric Kendricks, who just came over from the Vikings. So I didn't know, but I think he just signed with them. Joey Bosa, of course, hope he gets a left tackle. You know what I'm saying? Of course, Derwin James playing at safety. So it'll just be, they have some names over there, what I'm saying? So they have to line up. They want to just be ready, for, Tyron to be ready to, shut down folks as usual. You know what I'm saying? So, once again, I think it was, a little bit of a trench warfare, but, I'm not necessarily, nervous about, online being able to go up against these guys. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, the bye week is week 7. Of course, week 8 is home game, but once it gets another California team, the Rams, who I think is just, another team like the Cardinals. They're just kind of going through a rebuild situation right now. I mean, we recently heard, Matt Stafford come out earlier saying that he's having a hard time connecting even with his receivers, his team. So, not sure, even by week 8, what kind of chemistry we'll see on the field for them. See, Squinty Dog in the building. What's up, fam? How you doing? He says, look at the schedule. Do you see any trap games? Actually, yeah, I haven't gotten that far yet, but I was gonna mention like down the line, like I kind of feel. Of course, we know with the schedule, that whole, around the holidays, how we kind of have, an extended bye week, but also, shortened weeks because we play, Thanksgiving and the back-to-back Thursday games. So I kind of see, in my opinion, I would either see. Let me see. I would see kind of the Seahawks game a little bit because like I think we can win, but that's actually just really just kind of jumping ahead. The Seahawks is kind of a game I see as a toss up. We could win or lose just depending how the Seahawks come in because we know they have a draft pick. I'm saying we saw how we saw a little bit, some of their starters in preseason, but not a lot of them. I'm saying, but this kind of just this early look at their defense. I know it's like I said, I know it's preseason, but they play fast. I'm saying they really love attacking the line of scrimmage. So I think that will present a little bit of a challenge. Of course, we know I think by then that I would think that Smith and Jigba will be back from his wrist surgery. They're saying that they don't know if he's going to play week 1, but I'm sure down the line he's going to be playing by then. But I don't know. They still have Noah Fant this week. Not saying they produce big numbers or anything like that, but they're kind of like old reliables for them. Zach Charbonnet, he kind of ran against us. They definitely had some gash plays, in preseason. So, if we, can, of course, and hopefully by then late in the season start to plug that middle and be able to stop these running backs, to stop those gash plays, I think would be good. But I think for me right now, the Seattle game right now is not toss-up. All right, so just quickly going through the Rams game, like I said, they had their staples as well. Cooper Cup, he actually just had a setback when going through preseason. But hopefully he's okay. I mean, outside of him, they have Tyler Higbee. But as far as offense, and I'm not really sure what other weapons they have over there. I know they, I think they have a couple of draft pickups that they have. But as far as names, I'm not completely familiar. But like I said, I think they're just kind of like in a rebuild situation. Of course, they picked up Money Maher in the off season. But I see us, of course, coming out with the W over there too. Of course, that's leading up to another big game, week 9. Of course, against Philly. Of course, that's they'll be at Philly. And of course, we know they're starting, wide receivers, Brown, Smith. Of course, they only have Goddard, tight end. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, the D line is stacked. Brandon Graham, Victor Cox, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, was the rookie they just drafted, Josh Sweat. Pretty much, going across that whole line. I'm saying, so our old line is going to have to be ready. Like I said, I hope they bring that same energy they had in training camp. Just going up against these guys. It's going to be another trench warfare type of game. We saw last year, how it was. They were able to put pressure on Cooper Rush. He was tossing up interceptions. But of course, that was Cooper, and I'm saying, of course, when we played them later on in the season, Dak's still able to put 40 points on them. Of course, Dak had that early interception game, so we know they're known. They led the league in sacks last year, so we know they're known to put pressure on the quarterback. They're known to bring pressure. Period. So we still have to go in there ready to protect our quarterback. Protect the running back. If there's a handoff or just protecting the ball carrier at all costs because we know that these guys love to rush the line. Yeah, like I said, yeah, we got that. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. And then we have week 10. That's when we do see the Giants again. And of course, I think we'll just like last year. I think we'll sweep them once again. And then week 11, we have the Panthers. Of course, they just picked up their first round pick from Alabama, Bryce Young. When they started, they picked up Dalton also, just as an insurance plan, when Darnold left to go to Stanford. The starting wide receivers, DJ Chark, Jonathan Mingo, who they just drafted, and Adam Thielen, of course, we know he came with the Vikings. I'm saying, not sure what the whole situation is going on with the Panthers. Not going to say they're in the rebuild, but they do have some pieces over there. I'm saying they do have Hayden Hurst. I believe he came from, is it the Browns? I think the tight end came from the Browns. I either want to say the Browns or the Bengals, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But Of course, Miles Sanders went there, and of course they have Chuba Hubbard. And I mean, as we talked about running backs earlier, that's I'm not gonna, that could be their two punch, two, the two punch back system. You know what I mean? Of course, we know Miles Sanders. In my opinion, I think he's one of the first running backs that's snubbed as far as contracts. I think, $6 million. I mean, we know what the running back market is looking like for all these running backs. But I think he was one of the first like running backs who kind of went low. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure how much more he could have got going to another organization, but I'm not. I think he's just there for 1 year, so we'll see. What game plan they'll come in. I think the last time we faced them was 2019, or no, actually I think it was 2020 when we last faced them. And I think at the time they had the number one defense, and we were able to still come out with the W. Of course, after that we have Thanksgiving, of course, against Washington, and that's actually the first matchup we will see against Washington. Of course, they know they're going to be starting Sam Howell this year. They picked up Jacoby Brissett in the offseason to kind of give them some stability in the quarterback room. And actually, I thought that Jacoby was going to beat him outright, but I did think that I did think they was going to start Jacoby, kind of early in the season just to give Sam Howell some time to come along. But I mean, I'm not sure if they're only solely using like the Cowboys game from last year as a confidence booster, but I mean, that's kind of what they're going into the season with. Ron Rivera kind of said, hey, I wish I would have started him sooner, based off how he did. But I mean, it's one game. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. They say he's had a decent camp. We see, Washington just kind of, of course, they have new ownership and everything like that. So we just kind of see, their, base encouragement, kind of like the fan base encouragement. I think they just said they just sold out for their first home game or whatever, whichever game against the Cardinals coming up. So, we see there, and I mean that could be. I mean, I don't know. I think I was talking to my brother about a month ago, and he was saying that he thinks that Washington could possibly be not a sleeper team, but a team to keep an eye on because they just have that momentum. You know what I'm saying? It's new ownership, just a new feeling in the organization, a new feeling, new thinking in the building. So that could just be, kind of like an energy type that it kind of gets to the organization. So I'm not gonna say that, I'll be afraid of Washington, but they are a division rival, and just to be told, sometimes Washington is the team that does kind of sneak us. They do have that tough defense, which we know they have, Kane and Allen on the side, which been like, once again, not necessarily full-on trench warfare, but we do have to, be able to stack the box and make sure that we're able to keep these guys at bay so we keep this running game going, the right way. We could last year, Tony Pollard, even I believe it was the early game, he was having trouble even just getting to the end zone at time, go up against these defenses. And, of course, we know he has a smaller frame than Zeke. So we just, we got to be careful, just be careful to have blockers in front of him because we do have smaller bodies. If we do decide to put Turpin back there, or like I said, as I mentioned, Pollard. We do now. We have fingers crossed Rico healthy, and we'll see him down the line in the season because he does have kind of like that bruiser body. And so if we do decide to throw Juice out there, if TP was having trouble, we definitely need Rico maybe get in there for to kind of break down the defense so we can use Juice, to kind of shoot through shoot in those gaps. Spoonie Dog says, "What's your over under 9 picks for Diggs?" I'm gonna say 9. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna take the under. You know what I'm saying? Just being real, just because we have Gilmore on the other side, and they may try Diggs a little bit more, just because Gilmore is a little bit more experienced. But I could. A 9 is a good number. 9 is a good number, but I'm gonna say really my number for Diggs really was like 7 or 8, just because, like I said, because they have him on the side, and they also have Bland slots, so they may just depending on who we're lining up against, if they decide to try to rob to stop the food. But they want to go to the outside, but depending on who they're ready, and they may decide to try either side. But right now, I'm gonna take the under. Like I said, my number kind of right now is at 7 or 8. Like I said, just because we have people wanting the other side. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm thinking yeah, either 7 or 8, and even 8. Just kind of like just kind of giving on one more, just because the team we face down the line, they might try a little bit more. Like I said, when we see Buffalo down the line, they're gonna put Diggs on Diggs, and we know that Josh Allen is still going to try Diggs, Trayvon Diggs. So he might get, depending on who is playing, he may get more targets. So just depending on who he's covering, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think 7 is a good number, but like I said, depending on who they're lining up against. All right, so after Thanksgiving, like I mentioned earlier with the Seahawks game, I think this is kind of like my toss-up game. Where I was kind of wasn't sure if it was going to be, win or loss, but just having to put, having to put something down. I would like to see. I think it'll be a win just because, like I said, we've seen it before, and it is a little bit late down the season. You know what I'm saying? But I think our boys will be able to line up. Yeah, I think we'll face this team, face their starters. I think our boys will be able to line up. It really will give me a little bit more confidence that it's a home game. I just think the confidence from the crowd, and we just kind of see, it's late in the season. We have the Eagles coming up right after that, another home game. I think these are two, Thanksgiving, Seahawks, and Eagles are all home games. So I think us being, home for a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because of course we always had that crazy schedule. So us finally being able to have like a holiday schedule and being at home for 3 games in a row, I think it's going to give our boys, number one, of course, some rest. You know what I'm saying, during that crazy time, and just their bodies don't have to go through that traveling schedule. You know what I'm saying, going back and forth to the East Coast. So I just think that's going to give them, like I said, a little bit more momentum as well going into those games. You see, Joey says, "Do you think Dallas can go on an undefeated streak this season?" I don't know about undefeated just because of some of the tougher teams we do face down the stretch. Like even with the Seahawks, I think I really believe they're a tougher team to see. Even the Lions late this season, they may be playing for playoff contention. Buffalo, Miami, that's two division rivals back to back. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if we go completely undefeated. I definitely see us making like a run early in the season just because we have a lighter, in my opinion, a lighter load in the beginning. But it would be nice. I ain't never gonna say no. You know See, Nisha says our secondary has really come together where anyone can really get the ball thrown their way, and that's like I mentioned, even with Bland coming in. I'm saying Jay Luke backing him up. I'm saying so. As I mentioned like earlier, like depth is really important. Like I'm sure it feels good to a lot of fans out there, but you finally have some depth. Yeah, and I agree with you there, Scooby. I think Seahawks are pretty tough. We saw them have kind of have like a swing late last season when they were able to get to the playoffs. And I think it was the 49ers. I don't remember who they played in the playoffs last year. I think they ended up losing, but I think they had like a late. I think it was the 49ers. Yeah, 'cause I think the 49ers beat them. We ended up facing them. So yeah, I think they had like a late game swell, but I just think they couldn't. I think they couldn't hold out against them. So I think they're definitely a tough team. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree with you there, Spoon. Yeah, that's what I said. Hopefully we'll stay healthy, but that's really throughout the whole NFL. Hopefully, I'm sure all teams. I know all teams go through that late in the season. I mean, we're even seeing it early in the season, so they can happen at any time. So we'll be able to, and hopefully, it'll be late in the season. That's why we have the week 8 trade deadline. Hopefully, we'll see, where we're looking, how we're looking at that time, and hopefully, too late in the season. It won't be too late in the season. Week 13, 14. Hopefully, we won't be looking that, too down bad that late in the season to where we do have to make a major move, for position if if necessary. All right, and then before we move on, yeah, Eagles at home. That's week 14. We see the Eagles again. I think we'll win that game as well. And then, as I mentioned earlier, with us playing Buffalo and Miami, definitely two tough teams back to back, and of course two away games back to back, both on the East Coast. So I think that'll kind of factor into how these boys are going to play. But like I said, definitely two tough teams. Like I mentioned earlier, of course, Diggs going up against Diggs. That's definitely a battle. I saw a clip the other day on Twitter. That they showed, kind of, the field going, back and forth when he was younger, and going up against each other. I just think that it's going to be wild, y'all. That's going to be the matchup. I think of one of the greatest matches of the season, honestly, because I mean, when have we seen them go up against each other? At least not, recently. You know what I mean? So I think that's going to be an interesting matchup. We know Josh Allen and company. Of course, we know, he made Madden coverage, and he's getting, he's not really getting that much, criticism for, throwing the picks. We even saw him throw, a couple of picks in the last preseason game. I think it was just one, but a pick in the preseason game, but no one said anything. But imagine if that had been out there. You know what I mean? So he is a good quarterback. He does make mistakes. He does have. I believe last year he did have some of his own picks, and he has to clean up. So I think our, just being honest, I think our front seven could put that much pressure on Allen to make him, because once you get in his head, that's one thing I noticed about Allen, that he, sometimes there's times where he reacts first before thinking, like where he, like other players on the defense will get in his head. He's quick to, maybe, shove a player, or, quick to, talk back, or, what I'm saying, kind of, he's quick to react on the field. So I think that, our guys will be able to kind of get in his head a little bit, and really just kind of, that will, I think it'll affect his play. And I just think that the pressure on that line is really going to be important. Of course, we know they just drafted Osiris Torrance. You know what I'm saying? Right in the middle. I think he's their guard or the center. I forgot to put his position down, but I think he's going to be going up against Mozzie in that middle. So I think it's going to be like another game of trench warfare. I'm saying, right before we drafted, they actually snatched up Dalton Kincaid. You know what I'm saying? Another tight end, at the draft. They have James Cook, Damian Harris. If anyone doesn't know, James Cook is actually Dalvin Cook's brother. So he's lighting up too. It was, I think it was last year I first noticed him when the Bills played the Vikings, and they had their family on the sideline, cheering them on. I'm like, I didn't even know Dalvin Cook had a brother. So to see them, and he has, I don't know if he has a similar run style, but he's definitely a good back out the back. Trey says, just got to speed him up, hit him a few times. Who you talk about, Trey. And of course, on the defensive side with Buffalo, I'm not sure, because even now, like Von Miller, they say he's going to miss some time. It's at least 4 games. So, I forget what injury he's coming back from. But, hopefully he comes back healthy. And I think ever since he's, been to Buffalo, I think he's been on some kind of IR, or something going on with the injury. So, and I've been looking forward to seeing Von over there, saying him kind of tear shit up since he left, the Rams. I believe it was the Rams before that. So, and, speaking of the Rams, Leonard Floyd went over there to the Rams as well. So just seeing them kind of be teammates again too, it's kind of interesting, see them on opposite sides. Line up against them is always tough. I kind of been, always kind of noticed Leonard Floyd since he was, with Chicago, kind of tearing shit up. And so it'll be really nice lineup against them. Hopefully they'll both be healthy down the line. Oh, Josh Allen, yeah. He does not do well under pressure, yeah. And yeah, like I said, that pressure at the line, it gets to him quick too. About the like late first, or even like early second quarter. If you just start to agitate him a little bit, you'll see he starts getting frustrated and kind of throwing dirt balls and things like that. So I think like that mentality game, is going to also play a hand as well at the line. course, like I said, another tough team, Miami. We know they got some speedsters over there. Waddle, Tyreek, Braxton Berrios. You know what I'm saying? And even said Wilson back in Waddle up. You know what I'm saying? So they got some wide receivers over there. Connor Williams, former Cowboy. He's gonna be playing guard for them over there. So it'd be good to see them boys again. Oh yeah. We on the late. Yeah. Especially here on the East Coast. What's up, Philly? Philly. Good to see you tonight, fam. Thanks for your support. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, just give my record prediction real quick for the 2023 season before we can talk about week one next week. You know what I'm saying? For Miami, they also got some running backs down there. I'm saying Raheem Mostert, Devon Achane. I believe exactly him. I hope I'm saying that right. Behind him, I believe they have Ahmed. He's actually, I'm actually surprised to see Ahmed kind of low on the depth chart because he doesn't necessarily show flash all the time, but I did see a few flashes from him a couple of years ago. So I thought at least by now Ahmed would at least be number 2 in the depth chart. So it's interesting to see them draft another running back. Maybe he just hasn't, really. I guess as I just said, he just really hasn't flashed like maybe like they thought that he would. So, I think that just kind of put a little bit of pressure on Ahmed because it's for me it was surprising to see him so low on the depth chart. But so we're going to see some run game from them as well, and of course some defense as well. Now they have Big Fangio. As you guys remember, he was with I think it was Denver a couple of years ago when they quote unquote when they beat us what was it 30-0 or something like that. So and now he's down to Miami. So I think just speaking on that, I think these boys are going to remember that. I think they're going to remember the storyline he tried to put out about the success that the formula to beat Dallas and all that stuff. And I think going into their house, I think these boys, not saying they take it personal, I'm sure they're not thinking hard on it, but you're going up against a defensive coordinator. I'm sure that comes across. I'm sure that's going to come across their mind. Yeah, so I think with Buffalo just being, I think we could beat them, but just it's going to be up in Buffalo. It's going to be cold late in the season. We know that. I think that's either mid-December, late December. I think it's the week before Christmas. So I think of course, I don't know how these boys are going to do, outside in that cold. But it's they're definitely going to go up against a stacked team. Of course it's late in the season. We don't know how it's going to look. But just of course, just going off who we see on the roster at this time, like it's just gonna be a tough game. This late in the season, I'm sure they're gonna be playing. Because they have a tough division as well, so they're gonna be playing. For some playoff contention. I'm sure they're gonna be playing for with a spot. For a spot or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be a tough game. So I can see us falling to Buffalo and possibly Miami, but I think we could kind of sneak out of there with the win just because I kind of trust our. Our starting offense just a little bit more. I definitely trust our cornerbacks to be able to handle it. Even though they are fast, I think Diggs and Gilmore having that experience, the extra experience. We just had Diggs before, and even he is still relatively fresh, but having even more experience and just seeing our DB step up even recently, I think it's going to give us a good confidence boost. Yeah, I appreciate that, Phyllis. Thank you. Then, of course, the final couple of games of the season, we have the Lions, of course, Washington. And as I kind of mentioned earlier, like I think the Lions could just be one of like I mentioned earlier with Washington, could just be maybe like a sneaky team that maybe no one's looking at. But they definitely have the momentum. Dan Campbell's over there, just really coaching. Of course, along with his coaching staff, just really coaching us. So, we saw how they played us last year. They played tough. They played gritty. Like we saw the hits. But granted, I didn't like a lot of his hits. Some of them were low, but that's football. And I'm saying that's what you could playing. But just these boys definitely play tough, and not just defense, but offense as well. They have a couple of Japanese they just picked up. The tight end they just got, Sam LaPorta, the running back, Jameer Gibbs. So they're adding weapons, you know what I'm saying? So, and it's going to be late in the season, so I'm sure by then those boys are going to have some, really good, really good, great, even great game reps in by then, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to be going up, it's not going to be pretty much by then, they're not going to be, rookies anymore. They're going to have, pretty much a season under their belt. And, they're going to be playing tough. And like I said, even in their division, they could be playing for playoff contention. They don't have a great division, but, somebody got to come out there with the win, you know what I'm saying? So I'm sure they're going to be playing, for something later on down the in the season. Of course, they have first round pick from last year, Aiden Hutchinson on the end. Alex Anzalone from the Saints. Now I didn't know he went to the Lions, but I know he can as a linebacker he definitely makes noise. At the line of scrimmage, he has no problem being physical. You know what I'm saying? Like all you gotta do is look for the hair. You know what I'm saying? And he's out there making plays. He's fast. He likes he can find the ball. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely got to be careful. And of course, Jack Campbell, who they just another linebacker they just drafted. So we're going to see a lot of young guys coming out here for this team. As I mentioned, this late down in the season, these guys are going to be, somewhat, I'm not going to say seasoned, but these guys are, they're going to have some reps under their belt. They said I went to the Henny Stone. Can't mix it. yeah, you definitely can't mix no alcohol with no milk. Like, no. Yeah, that's definitely a no-go. And as I mentioned earlier, they got C.J. Gardner Johnson from the Eagles, so they got some pieces over there. They're definitely going to be, a formidable opponent. Especially like I said, this late in the season. You know what I'm saying we're going to be, I don't know if this is a game where we sit starters. You know what I'm saying I would definitely see that more like week 18. Against Washington, that's what kind of have like just like last year, kind of have a loss for Washington just because they kind of sneak us every now and then. But that could be a win too. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, our depth pieces and these younger guys, they have a job, but they're gonna be fighting for. I think at this point, these young guys may be fighting for reps in the postseason. You know what I'm saying? You never know. I'm saying these guys are, they're constantly fighting for a job. So I think if you put some of these young guys in. And with the potential like we saw last year, Malik Davis going to get his reps. You know what I'm saying? Against San Francisco. So if these guys have the motivation of possibly playing in the postseason, like as we want, 3 to 4 postseason games. You know what I'm saying? So if these guys want, we may be able to come out with a win towards the end with our depth pieces. But you know what I'm saying? I think cars are flying here, y'all. But I think as we reach the end of the schedule, I think our schedule maybe our final record is going to be 14-3. With the possibility of it being maybe flip 13-4. Just like I said, maybe a team like the Lions or maybe a team like the Seahawks, kind of sneak us, or even a division rival like Washington, could even sneak us late, just late in the season, whether we're sitting starters or focused on the postseason, as they went through last year. But I think. I think like as Spoonie mentioned earlier, with us having kind of a tougher schedule late in the season. I think what I like is that our schedule is compared to last year, just going off last year. We were traveling. We seemed to be like a lot going back and forth, which of course we're a quote unquote East team, but staying pretty much on the almost in the Midwest. You know what I'm saying, the South. You know what I'm saying? So us, I'm sure that travel, definitely wears down a lot on the, wears down a lot on the team. So that, like I mentioned earlier, with the Thanksgiving game, the low school game, back to back and home game, I think that just, the boys are, they're able to take it a little bit easier. Granted they have the away game in the season. I think the Lions game is a home game, but then right back out to East Coast for Washington. But, depending on how the postseason looks, this travel wears down a lot. So hopefully we be able to see these guys, like I said, stay healthy and be able to maintain their stamina this late in the season to be able to win. Because as we know, late in the season is when when playoff contentions start to become important. So yeah, like I said, I think our final record will be 14-3 for the season. That was pretty much it. That was our presentation. I don't know if you guys, have any. You guys have any recommendations for this? Any record prediction for the season before we get out of here, or any other teams, or what? What games do you guys see that could possibly trip us up towards the end? And actually, Philly. Before we get out of here, what do you have a recommendation for your team, for your Eagles? Or have you thought about what your team, what your team's record is going to be at the end of the season? Chris Davis was good. Was good, man. Good to see you. Happy to see you jumping like that. Nah, you're good, man. It's all good, man. We never late. We were just doing a record prediction for the record prediction for the season. Let's see. Spoonie says for the top five defense, I think 14-3 is fair. With someone very, with someone very dominant wins. Yeah, I agree with you on that speed. Yeah, 14-3. Yeah, I think, like I said, like because some of these, like at the early games, are definitely winnable games. Like if you know, I don't even want to say it, but if we trip up early, like I just don't think, what I'm saying, I just don't think that makes sense if we trip up early. I think these guys are focused in, so I don't really see us tripping up that early in the season. But definitely these late games, could definitely have, definitely like I mean, just just the football season in general takes its toll. So it really says five losses max. Yeah. I haven't looked at you guys. I haven't looked at you guys full schedule yet, but yeah, and really, not even just you guys, but really our whole division. I mean, I don't like. I'm not really sure just completely how Washington looks right now, but just how all the teams look. I mean, I'm sure a lot of fans are the same. I think I really think we have the strongest division going into the season. And I really don't, I guess if we play how we look, how the division looks. Like I said, I don't know how Washington looks. I know, I see recently that McLaurin is dealing with turf toe. So I don't know, and Sam Williams is dealing with that too. So I don't know how much that'll affect the players, but Washington got some weapons too. So really, I don't for our division, like maybe like maybe 5 to 7 for Washington. But I mean, really, I don't see our division really anybody in our division losing more than 5 games, 5 to 7 games. I think we have a really strong division. Yes, I got you, fam. Yep. As soon as I get off here, I got you, fam. All right, y'all. Well, like I said, that's pretty much my presentation. So I appreciate you guys' time. Well, I know, like I said, I know we was on the late night, but I want to get my quick record prediction before the season starts. So I hope you guys get some rest. Thanks for joining me here on the late night. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. It's a long weekend. Get some rest. Enjoy that holiday on Monday. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your night. I'll check you guys later.